Mexico versus Mexico Cinco de Mayo showdown. And with that, we welcome you to fabulous Las Vegas, or Sin City as Sergio refers to it. He's the Latin snake. That is Chris Mannix. Sergio, I'll start with you as our resident Mexican-American analyst. What does it mean for a Mexican to be fighting on Cinco de Mayo?
Your resident Chicano. I prefer to be called Chicano, but it's an honorary date that everyone covets. The thing about Mexican holidays, Cinco de Mayo, the second week of September 16th, they're very special. I mean, these are the dates that Chavez and Oscar de la Hoya, Floyd Mayweather Jr., Canelo, and now the winner of this fight's going to take over. They get the big money, they get the fans, and the mayhem that comes with it. The music, the mariachi. I can't wait on Saturday night.
Yeah, historically, the biggest star in boxing has fought on these Mexican holiday weekends. You go back to Oscar de la Hoya, fast forward to Floyd Mayweather. In recent years, it's been Canelo Alvarez, and Canelo has been clear he's not ready to give them up just yet. But this holiday, with Canelo in the twilight of his career, is up for grabs. You've got two guys here that have big fan bases, exciting styles, glossy records. They both have a chance to become the newest star that fights on this holiday.
Benavidez, they call him the monster, and he's got that attitude of a monster. He wants to dominate everything. He told us he doesn't just want to be the face of Mexican boxing, he wants to be the face of boxing, period, Sergio.
And he wants to do it on these dates. But the thing about being fortunate enough to have these dates, you have to have the power and the popularity. David Benavidez has been waiting in the wing to take that spot. He's earned that spot, and now he's here. He's in there with another monster and a champion in Zurdo Ramirez. But look, it's going to be speed versus size. Size is on Ramirez. It's going to be speed on Benavidez's part. I'm always going to favor speed. There's a reason that the monstro, David Benavidez, is favored here tonight.
I think for David Benavidez, this could be the start of a great run for him. He has been craving the big fights over the last few years. This is a big one, and a win would take him to bigger places.
All right, let's show you the entire fight card, and boy, is it a doozy. It's going to be loaded, ladies and gentlemen. The co-main event, the fight after that, the third fight. We need to come up with a special name for that Oscar Duarte Angel Fierro fight. That'll be a 12-rounder. But right at the tip top, Benavidez versus Zurdo Ramirez. Benavidez right now listed about a 4-1 favorite. Jaime Munguia and Armando Resendez. Is that one going to go the full distance? It'll be a banger. Then Isaac Lucero and Ishmael Flores, who fights out of Spain, in an 8-rounder. And to start the fight card in the super bantamweight division, it'll be Jorge Chavez and Tito Sanchez. But of course, all eyes on the main event, Mexico versus Mexico.
Zurdo is going to be, one for the ages.
The first cruiserweight championship fight with two Mexican fighters on Cinco de Mayo, so we're going to be making history.
It's an honor for me to represent my country.
Julio Cesar Chavez, Oscar de la Hoya, Marco Antonio Barrera. This date is basically saying that you're either the face of boxing or you're going to become the face of boxing.
Yeah, the passing of the torch is can be a make or break for a fighter.
Zurdo Ramirez is a great fighter, he's a great champion.
He has a granite chin, and he can punch like a mule.
Zurdo Ramirez now boxing him like a champion.
The youngest 168-pound title holder in boxing history.
Relentless. If I put it with one word, it's relentless.
Great combinations, fast combinations, body shots.
He just doesn't let you breathe.
I don't feel like I'm underdog. I feel like I'm the champ.
I'm expecting to go in there and give Zurdo Ramirez a beating.
We wore this Saturday.
This is what I want. I don't want no easy fights, and I want to go in there and I want to show the world who I am.
So two cruiserweight titles on the line tomorrow night. And in a way, Benavidez is kind of mirroring what Zurdo Ramirez has done. Ramirez started 168, 175, now 200. He's 4-0 at that weight class, fighting now maybe better than ever. What do you expect from Benavidez at 200 pounds?
Well, look, he wasn't a puncher at 175, but he relies on volume. He has long arms. Both these guys are only separated by half an inch in height and in reach, so the size is not really going to be an issue. It's going to be closing off that ring. Benavidez has been accustomed to closing down the ring against boxers. Caleb Plant, David Morrell, Demetrius Andrade. These are high-level, high IQ skilled boxers. Ramirez turned from puncher to boxer the higher he went in division. So Benavidez, his long arms, his pressure, his volume, and just his meanness, Todd. That's what it is that's going to separate both these guys. Their temperament. The monstro and Mexican monster, that guy's just something special.
I don't think you can be that dismissive of a 25-pound weight gain coming into this fight. Zurdo Ramirez has been at this weight class for a couple of years now. He's had 4 fights in this division. When he made the jump up into cruiserweight, he didn't fight one of the best guys out there. He fought Joe Smith at a catchweight, a 190-ish type of catchweight. Benavidez is going straight to the top. He is going up 25 pounds. He's fighting arguably the best guy in this weight class. And while I can buy an argument that says Benavidez is going to have speed advantage, he's going to have some power advantage, the meanness advantage, he is coming to Zurdo Ramirez's weight class, and he is going to take on the best in the division, arguably, in his very first fight. I'm curious to see how that weight carries. Does he have the same speed? Does he have the same power, the same defense? All the things he's talking about, are they the same at 175, or 200 as they were at 175?
On the way here to the MGM Grand Garden Arena, Sergio was stopped, 10, 15 times. Sergio, what do you think? If people want to
You
give
owe me money?
wanted to give you their predictions as well. Not a single person said Zurdo was going to win this fight. I feel like everybody is completely overlooking him. Do you feel that way?
Look, the Mexican spirit's in there, and the Mexican fans know what they're watching. I mean, they're rabid fans, just like the British fans. They know what they're watching, and there's a reason that Benavidez is the favorite. Look, I think Benavidez is the favorite here as well, because we understand volume, we understand pressure, we understand meanness. And the thing about Zurdo, he's one of these guys, these champions that could smile and still be a killer, but he doesn't have that bully mentality. Benavidez does. Mexicans love that bully mentality, that si se puede attitude of gonna track you down, I'm gonna beat you down, and then I'm gonna make you submit. And David Benavidez has that.
I think Zurdo is being wildly disrespected
going
into this fight. I mean, Zurdo Ramirez has one loss in his career, and that was to a top 5 pound-for-pound guy in Dimitri Bivol. And he was beaten by Dimitri Bivol in ways that I don't think David Benavidez is going to beat him. Bivol beat him with footwork, with angles, using all the skills that he has in the light heavyweight division. David Benavidez is going to try to bully him, and maybe he can, but Zurdo's got some pop. Zurdo's got some skill. I think Zurdo in the ring is going to have the better footwork. So if David Benavidez, if all those attributes that made him great in these lower weight classes, if they don't come up, we know what Zurdo can do. He's beaten 3 top guys in the cruiserweight division, 2 champions and 1 ex-champion in Uniel Dorticos. He's the real deal at this weight class, and I think it's going to be a really competitive fight.
Well, we were at that fight against Bivol, and Bivol was just too sophisticated, I think, for Zurdo to figure out. Benavidez is not sophisticated at all. You know exactly what he's going to do and how he's going to do it. Plus, Zurdo has that southpaw style. Sergio, it seems like there's a couple different ways for Zurdo to get this victory.
He's going to have different ways. He's going to have to have a plan A, B, and C. I know that sounds cliche, but you can't outfight Benavidez. You're not going to outvalue him. So you're going to have to box and move. You're going to have to show him what David Morrell showed him, a little boxing here and there. You have to show him what other fighters fought on the inside. You have to do a lot. Ramirez has a little bit of everything, and he's going to have the size and the chin, the punch resistance to come with it. Look, the reason this is a special date is because these guys know how much is at stake. Ramirez is going to have to sell out. Benavidez already sold out. The fans are going to win here.
I think we're misrepresenting in a way what Zurdo is. He's not a low volume guy. He throws a lot of punches too, and he's got some pop behind his punches. He's got a great knockout ratio. He's been putting good beatings on guys like Willem Smith, Gulamarian, Dorticos. I think Zurdo Ramirez has to use that size to his advantage. I think he's got to make this a fight in a phone booth. I think he's got to be the one on the front foot. He's got to be the one pressuring David Benavidez. He's got to be the one introducing Benavidez to this new weight class and the level of physicality that's in it. Zurdo knows what it takes to fight and win against the best at 200 pounds. I want to see him show he can do that in this fight with Benavidez.
And that's another thing that I want to throw out there. These guys are familiar with each other. They sparred with each other. So that size, that speed, that power, that timing, they've already experienced it. Now, if they were catching him by surprise and Zurdo was in there in the middle of the ring and surprised them with that size, with that volume, with that power, then Benavidez probably wouldn't have won the early rounds and the middle rounds, and it would have been a different fight. Because he's familiar with it, the fight's going to break out faster.
You bring that up, Sergio. That is a good point because according to David,
did you say he made a good point?
Made a good point.
Okay.
Excellent point.
Wow.
Well done, Sergio.
Wow.
David Benavidez and Zurdo Ramirez have sparred over 300 rounds together, according to Benavidez. They've had multiple training camps that go all the way back to when Benavidez was 16 years old. Benavidez was Zurdo's primary sparring partner for when Zurdo beat Arthur Abraham back in 2016, when he beat Arthur Abraham. So Benavidez, I think one of the reasons he's having this kind of confidence is that he's been in there with Zurdo. He's taken those punches. He knows how Zurdo likes to fight. Maybe he'd be less confident facing a Jaya Pataya, who he's completely unfamiliar with, but he believes that familiarity is going to be a big bonus for him.
And it seems like a lot of people think for Benavidez to win. He's going to slowly just grind Zurdo down and maybe stop him late. But we had a chance to speak to world-class trainer Joel Diaz, who knows both these fighters very well, and he kind of flipped the script on us, Sergio. He said if Zurdo doesn't get stopped over the first 5 or 6 rounds, he thinks the naturally bigger, stronger Zurdo can wear down Benavidez and maybe stop him late.
No,
you agree with that?
That's the reason I like picking the brains of great trainers. So I stopped and asked Joel Diaz that question. But ultimately, I asked him, who does he pick? He picks Benavidez. So look, he can sell the fight just like we can. He can tell you what Zurdo can do to make it an issue, make it a difficult fight for David Benavidez. But in the end, when you ask him who wins and how, it's always the same. Benavidez finds a way to get the decision.
I don't think he's wrong, though, in that assessment. I think it's foolish to assume that in the second half of the fight, it's going to be David Benavidez pouring it on. We have seen Zurdo take a lot of shots from a lot of big punchers, maybe not with anybody with this type of speed, and Benavidez certainly has the skill level that Zurdo has not seen since Dimitri Bivol. But I think in the second half of the fight, this strong guy, if he can keep this fight close, if he can keep this fight at a close distance, I think he's got a great chance to pull off an upset.
All right, we're just a couple of minutes away from the start of today's ceremonial weigh-ins. We'll send it right down there as soon as we're ready, but right now let's talk briefly about the co-main event. Jaime Munguia is back taking on Armando Resendez. Sergio, this one is the one the fans are probably going to be standing up for because the bell's going to ring and all hell's going to break loose. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that, and I think that's the one where Resendez might be the favorite. I mean, I don't know who to pick there. Look, Munguia has the championship experience. Resendez coming off the best win of his career against a former champion in Caleb Plant. Munguia's been knocked out. He came back. Yes, he got redemption, but he still got knocked out. That chin, with 49 fights, he's aging in dog years, man. This is the thing about Munguia. He's been in war after war after war. Resendez is not a war-type fighter. He'll give you war, but he'll step back. He'll get angles. Resendez is a smarter fighter, but Munguia has the experience. That's going to be a good old Mexican standoff.
Yeah, the question for me coming into this fight is, what does Jaime Munguia have left? To your point, like, he has been in a lot of fights over a lot of years. Chronologically, he is not an old fighter. But what did the toll of all those fights take? The war with Sergey Derevchenko, going 12 rounds with Canelo Alvarez. We saw some of the results of that punishment in that first fight against Bruno Saras. He was winning that fight, looked like he was going to knock Saras out. Then he gets clipped by a guy that's not really a puncher. So it's fair to wonder what Jaime Munguia has left. Now, he's taking a long layoff. He's working with Team Canelo for this fight. And I think on paper, Jaime Munguia is the better fighter. But if Munguia is a diminished version of the fighter we used to be, that opens the door wide open for Resendez to have a big performance.
Yeah, after that knockout from Bruno Saras, we didn't know what to expect from Jaime Munguia. Obviously, he won the rematch. Some questions surrounding the negative test? Positive test.
He was ultimately cleared by the respective bodies, so no punishment was taken there. And look, it wasn't overturned, so we'll go with the official results on all this. We'll go with the official results.
But Sergio, if Munguia is the guy that we fell in love with right before he fought Canelo Alvarez, this is the type of fighter he should be able to blast out, correct?
He should be able to blast out, but when you have that much wear and tear on your body, so many war after war after war, it takes a toll on you. I don't think we're going to see that Jaime Munguia. We're not going to see that that version of himself where he has a lot of confidence in his chin. He has a lot of confidence in coming forward. No head movement, no jab. It just goes mano a mano. That has.
You don't seem to like Munguia's chances.
No, I do. But the only way he wins is a physical fight. How many physical fights does he have left? That's the thing. That's the thing why I favor Resendez.
I think, though, the Resendez side of it is that even though he has momentum coming in this fight, coming off the win against Caleb Plant.
That was so long ago.
Well, that wasn't that long ago. I mean, that's at least the lasting memory in his mind. He was also stopped by Elijah Garcia at a lower weight. He lost to Marco Hernandez over the last few years. So he has got some blemishes on his resume as well. Obviously, he's got to be feeling good after that win over Plant. But I think Munguia is the type of fighter that can just overwhelm you. Jaime Munguia is not a one-punch knockout artist. He is coming, just like David Benavidez, to bury you in punches. I think this is an opportunity for Munguia, who I look at it and think is the naturally bigger fighter. I think Munguia could put on a great show if he's at his best.
Munguia, we've seen being pushed back by smaller fighters, and we've seen him hurt by guys that aren't even champions, like Spike O'Sullivan. He got rocked by O'Sullivan. He got pushed back by Inoue. Resendez is the real deal. He's a championship-level fighter that's just as big. He's naturally super middleweight. So that's the reason I think Resendez is ready for this moment. He has the Mexican style. He has a chin that hasn't been cracked. Munguia is the underdog in this one.
Chin has been cracked. He was stopped before. He lost to Elijah Garcia by knockout. He has been hit. He's gotten hit. This is what I'm saying. He's a very good fighter. But I think on paper, Jaime Munguia is a better fighter. The question to come back to is what version of Jaime Munguia are we going to get?
It may come down to not how much you could dish out, but how much you could take. Who's got the better chin in our co-main event? Also, Oscar Duarte is back. We were supposed to see him in the ring against Richardson Hitchens, who fell ill and then signed with Zuffa. Who knows what went on there? Maybe Chris has some inside information on that. However, he gets what appears on paper to be a lighter touch with Angel Ferrero, who's lost 3 of his last 4, including being disqualified in his last fight for kicking his opponent. What kind of fight do you think that's going to be?
I think that out of all the cards on this amazing card, that's probably the one where we know what the outcome is already. I think Duarte is ready for the champions. Angel Fierro is a gatekeeper. He's coming out back-to-back losses, and on this level, he's just not ready. It can be fireworks, but there's only going to be one fireman. That's Oscar Duarte. I don't expect this fight to go the distance, not even in the second half of the fight.
Yeah, I'm with you. Leave the judges at home, take a break, get some coffee, go get a drink, have some dinner. You're not going to be needed in this particular fight. These two guys are both big punchers in this 140-pound division. You're right about Fierro. He's coming off some losses there. He has not looked good as of late, but he comes to fight every single time, and so does Oscar Duarte. This is two guys that are just going to be taking steps forward all night long. And I think for Duarte, it's a doubly important fight. Now, the IBF, they ordered Teofimo Lopez to fight Lindolfo Delgado for the vacant 140-pound title vacated by Richardson Hitchens. Teofimo has elected not to pursue that path, and the IBF has not ordered a new opponent for Delgado. I was told that the IBF is waiting for the outcome of this fight. If Duarte comes out the other side of it as the winner, he is going to be ordered to fight Lindolfo Delgado for the world title. So a lot at stake for someone like Oscar Duarte.
And Oscar Duarte says he is ready. He truly believes in his abilities, believes he's the best fighter in the world in his weight class. He gets to give us a little glimpse of that here tonight. All right, guys, as we're still awaiting our ceremonial weigh-ins to begin, give me the fighter on the card who's most likely to pull off an upset tomorrow night at the T-Mobile Arena.
Resendez for me. I don't even know if that's an upset.
Munguia is a 2-1 favorite in that fight.
Okay,
so yes.
Resendez the underdog. I think that's my underdog pick.
I mean, I would say Zurdo. Like the odds to me are crazy against Zurdo Ramirez. Maybe he's going to lose. Maybe Benavidez does to him what he's done to so many other opponents and overwhelms him. But I'm sorry, 25 pounds is a lot, man. That's the biggest jump that you can make. Please, that's the biggest jump you can make. I'm worried about that.
All right, apparently we're starting right now. Let's go down to the stage
here in Las Vegas, Nevada, as Premier Boxing Champions presents our ceremonial weigh-in. Tomorrow night, undefeated 2-division world champion David El Monstro Benavidez and WBA and WBO cruiserweight world champion Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez headline this very special Cinco de Mayo weekend in an all-Mexican showdown from T-Mobile Arena. It is a PBC pay-per-view event on Prime Video and DAZN.com. This event is promoted by Golden Boy Promotions and Samson Boxing in association with TGB Promotions. Sponsored by Thomas J. Henry Law, built to fight. VMC Tequila Cocktails, El Origen Ante Todo. Linear Protein Bar. Knock out your hunger with 20 grams organic protein that tastes like a decadent treat. And choose your fighter. Only one can win. Mortal Kombat 2 only in theaters May 8th. Now, before we get to our pay-per-view, we have a 3-fight First on Prime lineup, streaming live and free on Prime Video beginning 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 2:30 p.m. Pacific. Let's meet those fighters. First up, this bout will be 8 rounds in the light heavyweight division, a battle of Olympians. First up, to the stage with 8 victories, 6 by knockout. Representing Chota, Ecuador, he is an Ecuadorian Olympian making his U.S. debut. Please help me welcome Marlon Black Boy Delgado. And now we welcome his opponent, coming into this bout, undefeated, 14 victories, 10 by knockout. Representing Barranquilla, Colombia, he is a Colombian Olympian. Please help me welcome Juan Carrillo.
undefeated Juan Carrillo, 14-0, 10 knockouts. Big puncher from Colombian. This is how you want to see.
All right, now it's time for our fighters to step onto the scale. First up, once again, out of Ecuador, Marlon Black Boy Delgado. $177.6, 177.6 for Delgado. And now we welcome his opponent out of Colombia. Please help me welcome Juan Carrillo. 177.4, 177.4. Both men have made weight under the 178-pound weight contracted limit.
So right out of the gate, it'll be two light heavyweights squaring off.
Yeah, this has the potential to be a fun fight to open the show. Both these guys with undefeated
8
records.
rounds in the light heavyweight division. Once again, a battle of Olympians. Marlon Black Boy Delgado against Juan Carrillo.
Both these guys with big punching power and both with something to prove. A win on a card like this would be a nice springboard to another fight.
And Sergio, these Mexican crowds on Cinco de Mayo show up early and make a lot of noise. So it should be a nice little crowd for these two to fight in front of.
Absolutely. I mean, we love the mariachi. We love the music. It's a passionate crowd. Can't wait.
All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready for our next bout. This one will be 4 rounds in the super lightweight division. First up, coming to the stage, he is undefeated, 2 victories, both wins by knockout. Representing Phoenix, Arizona, here is James Pierce. And now we welcome his opponent, also undefeated, 1 victory with 1 win by knockout, no defeats. Representing Las Vegas, Nevada, here is Dylan La Amenaza Capetillo.
Dylan Capetillo fighting for the 2nd time in less than a month. The Golden Boy prospect, very excited to get an opportunity.
All right, first up onto the scale once again. Out of Phoenix, Arizona, here is James Pierce.
James Pierce, a late addition. They were looking around for opponents for Dylan Capetillo.
134.8, 134.8 for Pierce.
Added to this card this week.
And now we welcome the talented prospect, Dylan La Amenaza Capetillo. 136.2, 136.2 for Capetillo.
La Amenaza, the threat. Both these guys starting young in their career, 4-round fighters, undefeated. That 0 is very crucial to keep on your record, but someone's O has got to go.
You know, Golden Boy is excited about Capetillo, and I'll give Golden Boy credit for this. They wind up finding
4 rounds in the super lightweight division.
Some of them who turn to pretty big
James
stars.
Pierce against Dylan La Amenaza Capetillo. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are set for our featured bout for first on prime, 10 rounds in the super middleweights division. Coming to the stage with a record 16 victories, 14 by knockout, opposite of 3 defeats and 1 draw. He is representing Long Beach, California. Here is Raul Solomon. And now we welcome his opponent, coming in undefeated, 14 victories, 7 by knockout. Representing Milwaukee, Wisconsin, he is the hard-hitting, talented super middleweight. Please help me welcome Daniel, the Iceman Blanca.
The Iceman, Sergio.
6'3" tall, long, strong, another big moment. And this is what you're talking about with undefeated fighters taking a big step, showing that they're ready for the next moment.
Onto the scale once again out of Long Beach, Raul Solomon. $167.4 for Solomon. And now we welcome the undefeated Daniel, the Iceman Blackas. $166.8 for Blackas.
Another big opportunity for Daniel Blackas. We saw him about a year ago fighting on the Resendez Plant undercard. Got a first-round knockout over Kwame Ritter on that card. Good-looking prospect, good power, nice set of skills, and a great opportunity here for him to show out on a card like this.
Boy, you can't sleep on Raul Solomon, nicknamed Money, who has an 87% KO rate, 14 KOs in his 16 wins.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is our featured bout for First on Prime. 10 rounds in the super middleweight division. Raul Solomon taking on Daniel, the Iceman Blackas. Those 3 bouts will be featured on First on Prime, and it all starts 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 2:30 p.m. Pacific. Now, I will turn things over to the legendary Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to you y a todos mis amigos latinos. Celebrando el 5 de mayo, bienvenidos aficionados al box, al pesaje ceremonial. Well, fans, Premier Boxing Champions presents the PBC pay-per-view ceremonial weigh-in for a big night of action taking place tomorrow night at the T-Mobile Arena, and brought to you by Golden Boy Promotions and Samson Boxing in association with TGB Promotions. Well, fans, before we continue and bring up our fighters on the pay-per-view portion of our night, we have a very special guest. I'd like to bring him to the stage at this time. He is the CEO of Golden Boy Promotions. Ladies and gentlemen, the U.S. Olympic gold medalist, the 11-time world champion in 6 weight categories. Please welcome the one and only Hall of Fame legend of boxing, the Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring to your attention, let's talk a little bit about pay-per-view. It is available everywhere. Amazon Prime Video pay-per-view, DAZN pay-per-view, and all traditional satellite and cable services. You can get this fight on pay-per-view anywhere you are, so enjoy it. It's a great all-Mexican showdown here coming up tomorrow night. Well, our opening pay-per-view attraction features middleweights in action in a showdown. Let's bring them to the stage at this time. First, from Campo Grande, Argentina, please welcome the man seeking his 8th straight win. Please welcome Ismael El Terrible Flores. And now we invite his opponent to the stage at this time from La Paz, Baja California Sur, Mexico. Here is the undefeated super welterweight and middleweight contender, Puro Mexico, Isaac Lucero. right, it's time to bring our fighters to the scale at this time. The official contracted weight for this fight is 157 pounds. It is for the WBA, Continental America, and the Latino WBO Championship. First to the scale, his record of 17 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, with 12 big wins coming by way of knockout. He is making his U.S. debut. Please welcome the battle-ready Ismael El Terrible Flores.
Chris, this is a sneaky good matchup early on the card.
Yeah, it is.
155.2 pounds, 155.2. And now we invite his opponent to the scale, a record of 18-0 with 14 knockouts. Ladies and gentlemen, the trained by the renowned Bob Santos, the undefeated rising star, Puro Mexico, Isaac Lucero.
Isaac Lucero coming in with a 2-fight knockout streak.
155.6 pounds, 155.6.
Stopped Roberto Valenzuela his last time out. Flores, he's won 7 fights in a row since his first pro loss. The last 5 have come by knockout. Both these guys bringing a lot of power into the ring and a chance as part of this pay-per-view opener to really set the tone for the rest of this evening.
Lucero meeting a very hungry Flores. Youth, power, and pressure colliding in this one to kick off the main card tomorrow night, T-Mobile Arena.
This is a battle you don't want to miss. It opens up our pay-per-view. Isaac Lucero, Ismael Cruz for the WBA Continental and WBO Latino Middleweight Championship.
What you think about my last fight?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear from both of the fighters. My honor to introduce and hand over the duties to my colleague, Miguel Flores.
Ismael, you are making your U.S. debut here. How do you make sure this one is a successful one?
Bueno, vas a tener tu debut acá en Estados Unidos. ¿Cómo te vas a asegurar de que sea un debut exitoso?
Será un debut, pero no será la última. Voy a salir con todo, voy a salir a ganar, es lo que he venido a hacer y seguramente me verán muchísimas más veces aquí.
It's going to be the first, but I assure you, it's not going to be the last time. You're going to see me out there, you're going to see me win, and I'm here to stay. You're going to see me plenty more times.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Ismael Flores. And now, I'll bring over Isaac. Isaac, you have had a tremendous start to your career, 18-0. What type of statement are you looking to make tomorrow night?
Qué lindo comienzo de tu carrera, ¿no? 18 victorias, ninguna derrota. ¿Qué mensaje querés enviar este sábado?
Sí, ha sido un trabajo largo, una carrera muy larga. Estoy muy contento. Este sábado, mañana vamos a salir con todo, vamos a salir con la victoria y vamos a demostrarle al mundo que merecemos una oportunidad.
Well, it's been a long journey. I've loved every minute of it. And this Saturday night, not only am I going to win, I'm going to show the world that I deserve the opportunity that I crave.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for Isaac Puro Mexico Lucero. Back to Jimmy.
What a great opening fight we have in store for you tomorrow. I want to remind you that our pay-per-view begins at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 5 p.m. here in the Pacific. Don't miss it. A great night of boxing coming your way. We're ready to move on and bring out our second pay-per-view attraction, bring our fighters on to the stage at this time. First of all, from Cathedral City, California, the undefeated super bantamweight spark plug. Please welcome Jose Tito Sanchez.
Super bantamweight division, 122 pounds. Sergio, these guys are fast, and they're going to take off right when the opening bell rings.
And that's exactly what you want to see with the smaller weight divisions. We want volume, we want pressure. And whenever you have that zero, that 15-0 zero, you're going to want to keep it by any means necessary. Nice puncher, boxer puncher, and Jose Tito Sanchez, another excellent matchup.
Rising star, known as El Niño Dorado, Jorge Chavez.
Jorge Chavez, 16 pro fights, 15 wins, 1 draw, 7 by way of knockout. Sergio, how would you describe his fighting style?
I think he's an excellent boxer, puncher, redeemed his only blemish on his career against Manuel Gucci Flores, in which he got a draw. But anytime you see a fighter come back after the draw and get the unanimous decision, that's when you know he's a good and he learned from that experience.
Fighters onto the scale at this time. The weight limit on this fight is 122 pounds. It is for the WBA Continental Super Bantamweight Championship. Both of these fighters undefeated with nearly identical records. We're going to put them onto the scale, and then we're going to see them square off as they prepare to meet each other tomorrow night in our second pay-per-view attraction. First to the scale, undefeated at 15-0 with 9 knockouts. The undefeated Super Bantamweight rising star, here is Jose Tito Sanchez. Sanchez weighs in at 121.2 pounds. 121.2 for Tito Sanchez. And now his opponent, his record 15 wins, no losses, 1 draw, with 8 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the undefeated Super Bantamweight rising star, Jorge El Niño Dorado Chavez. Chavez weighs in right at the Super Bantamweight limit of 122 pounds.
All right, Sergio, give us your prediction. Who's going to win this between 2 unbeaten young fighters?
I'm going to edge it out to Jorge Chavez. I think I like what I saw in his last fight, how he was able to, capitalize on, coming up short in the rematch. But excellent boxer, puncher, throws the right punches, good footwork, doesn't smother his work. I really like his future.
And it's got to be a big thrill for them to be fighting on this holiday on the undercard of Ramirez versus
There they are,
Benavidez.
ladies and gentlemen. El Niño Dorado, Jorge Chavez versus Jose Tito Sanchez. A battle of undefeated rising stars in the Super Bantamweight division. Once again, Miguel Flores now to hear from both of our fighters.
Jose, we spoke all week. You have big goals for yourself here at 122 pounds. What's going to be the key for you to stay undefeated tomorrow night?
Just winning over this fight, give the fans what they want, and I'm ready for it. You guys will see what Tito Sanchez is tomorrow night.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Jose Tito Sanchez. And now welcome Jorge Chavez. Jorge, you are obviously taking on Sanchez in a very tough fight. We saw you saying a few words to Jose. What were you telling him?
I just said I've been waiting a long time for this. We fought in the amateurs when we were both 18, and he took that by split decision. And ever since then, I've been having nightmares. Every day I wake up and I do what I gotta do to prepare for this moment. I knew we would face off sooner or later. This is the second guy I face out of Coachella, so let's do it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for El Niño, Jorge Chavez.
Well, we're just about ready to bring up our next pay-per-view attraction, and we also want to let you know that there are some tickets available at ASX.com. What a way to celebrate Cinco de Mayo in the fight capital of the world. There's nothing like it. Hope you can join us live because it's a great event coming your way. And at this time, we are ready to move on for our next pay-per-view attraction. Please welcome the fighters as they make their way to the stage. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, from Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico, the all-action world contender. Please welcome Angel Tashiro Fierro.
Fierro, loser of 3 of his last 4, but said this week, I know I'm a big underdog. I haven't been fighting well lately, but I'll give you my blood, my sweat, my everything. I'm here to spoil the party, steal the show.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, his opponent from Parral, Chihuahua, Mexico, a top contender in the lightweight division, super lightweight division. Please welcome La Migraña, Oscar Duarte.
So here comes Duarte, a big favorite here, Chris, but much more on the line for him than just another win.
Yeah, a lot on the line. Oscar Duarte is next up to fight for the vacant IBF 140-pound title. If he wins, I'm told the IBF will order Duarte to fight Lindolfo Delgado for the belt that was vacated by Richardson Hitchens.
Sergio, if Fierro brings his best, his very best performance, can he win this fight?
No. I think Oscar Duarte is just on another level. What Fierro can do is make it messy and bloody and bring the Mexican style, but can he pull out the win out there against him?
140 pounds. This is for the WBC Silver and NABO Super Lightweight Championship. First, with a record of 23 wins, 4 losses, and 2 draws, he's the all-action world contender. Once again, please welcome Angel Tashiro Fierro. Fierro weighs in 143.4, 143.4. That is over the limit for this 140-pound championship fight. And now his opponent, ladies and gentlemen, with a record of 30 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw. 23 knockouts. He's a world contender in the super lightweight division. Here is the hard-hitting Oscar La Migraña Duarte. Oscar Duarte weighs in at 139.8 pounds, 139.8.
Fierro missing weight, Chris. What do you make of that? 3.5 pounds.
That's not missing weight. That's blowing by the weight. But I can tell you, after the experience that Oscar Duarte had last time out with Richardson Hitchens, I don't think there's any weight that Fierro was going to come in and Oscar Duarte wasn't going to say yes. But Sergio, that's a big number to miss weight by.
That's a big number. The thing about Angel Fierro, he has 6 blemishes on his career. Anytime he steps up, he falls short, and he's stepping up here against Duarte. He could be the heavier man, he could be the bigger man, but he's not going to be the favorite against a man that got the show stolen from him. In a championship fight against Hitchens, you can bet he's going to want to make a statement against Fierro.
You think he missed weight on purpose or just a lack of discipline?
I think on purpose. He wants every advantage. Absolutely.
The WBC Silver and NABO Super Lightweight titles. Oscar La Migraña Duarte versus Angel Tashiro Fierro.
3.5 pounds. Whenever I hear something over 2 pounds, that tells me a guy didn't train properly. That tells me a guy maybe isn't taking this fight as seriously as he should.
Miguel Flores, it's all you.
Angel, you missed weight. First off, what happened and how will that affect tomorrow night?
Bueno, ¿qué pasó con el peso y cómo te afectará mañana por la noche?
Bueno, primero que nada pido una disculpa al público, a Oscar Duarte, a su equipo. Hicimos todo lo posible para llegar a la 140. El cuerpo no me respondió, pasamos todos los pesajes de tiempo atrás. Estamos listos para pelear, gracias a Dios se da la pelea. Venimos a dar una guerra como cada vez que me subo al ring, y yo sé que no puedo llevarme los hitos, pero estoy seguro que me voy a llevar la victoria y voy a limpiar todo.
Well, I want to apologize first of all to you, the fans, to Team Duarte, to Oscar himself. I did everything I could to try to make weight, but the body just wouldn't allow me. I passed all the preliminary weigh-ins, but this time it wasn't meant to be. But regardless, tomorrow I'm gonna go out there and try to put on a show for you guys. It's gonna be a war, you're not gonna wanna miss it, and I'm gonna go for it all regardless of what happens.
Ladies and gentlemen, get up one more time for Angel Tashiro Fierro. Welcome in over Oscar. Obviously, you have dealt with adversity early on here in 2026, and then obviously Fierro missing weight. First off, what are your thoughts on that, and does this change anything for you tomorrow night?
Bueno, Oscar, no estás teniendo suerte este año, una vez más sobreponiéndote a la adversidad. ¿Qué te genera el hecho de que Fierros haya perdido el peso y que la pelea ahora sea este sábado por la noche sin lo que iba a pasar?
No, pues yo estoy bien contento. Mira toda la gente que viene a apoyarnos. Esto es lo que a mí me motiva y pues estoy listo. Hice una gran preparación. Ya llevo 2 preparaciones que se me juntaron en esta pelea y me siento listo. Entrené muy fuerte. Vengo bien preparado y listo para darle a toda mi gente que está aquí una gran pelea y pues ya empezamos con la mano, con el pie derecho, como decimos, porque ya vencimos el primer rival, la báscula, cumplí con el peso y vengo listo para, como les digo, para darles una gran pelea.
Look, there is no time to feel down because look at everyone here. How am I not going to feel excited? I'm pumped. So thank you so much for being here, supporting me. And I promise you that tomorrow night you're going to see a spectacle. I'm going to go out there, fight for you, win. And I truly believe that I started with the right foot. 2 straight training camps. I feel great, and I'm going to show it all out there for you guys. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for Oscar Duarte.
Let me tell you, Fierro could have come in looking like the Mexican Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and I think Oscar Duarte was going to
Our
find
pay-per-view commences tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 5 p.m. here, the Pacific Time. And it's at the T-Mobile Arena. If you want tickets, ASX.com is where to get it. And you can join us live. And once again, pay-per-view is available just everywhere. Available at Prime Video, pay-per-view, DAZN pay-per-view, and all traditional satellite and cable services. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Premier Boxing Champions continues with our weigh-in from here at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. We now present the first of our world title attractions. It is brought to you by TGB Promotions, Warriors Boxing, and Zanfer Boxing, and sponsored by Thomas J. Henry Law. Built to fight, and by VMC Tequila Cocktails, El Origen Ante Todo. Now we invite to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, first from Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico, the challenger, the former WBO junior middleweight champion of the world, Jaime Munguia.
He is back, Sergio. What do you expect from Jaime Munguia tomorrow night?
I expect the absolute best, but I mean, I want to know how much that fight with Bruno Serrat took out of him. Yes, he came back and redeemed himself, but that stays with you. Can he still have confidence in taking the big punch and coming forward with that Mexican style? That's what I want to know if he still brings to the table.
He's brought his family and friends with him here this afternoon and tomorrow. The newly crowned WBA super middleweight champion of the world, Armando El Toro Reséndiz.
Chris, we last saw him in May of 2025, that upset win over Caleb Plant. He surprised us that night. Can he do it again tomorrow?
Yeah, hasn't been active since then. He's been in discussions for a couple of different fights. Jamal Charlo was out there. Edgar Berlanga was discussed as well, but has been off since that win over Caleb Plant. That was a big win for him.
To the scale. Weight limit is a very strict 168 pounds. This is for the WBA Super Middleweight Championship of the world. First, with a record of 45 wins, 2 losses, he has 35 wins coming by way of knockout. He's the popular all-action former champion of the world. Introducing Jaime Munguia.
Boy, he looks good, huh?
167.4 pounds, 167.4.
Yeah, we've seen Jaime Munguia at multiple
And now,
weight
ladies
classes.
and gentlemen, his
Crazy to think he could make 154 all those years. Very big guy.
He'll be making the first defense of his title. Please welcome the reigning and the defending WBA Super Middleweight Champion of the world, Armando El Toro Reséndiz. 167 for Resendiz, 167.
So, Chris, quickly explain how he's the world champion and why this is a title fight.
Well, Armando Resendiz won the interim version of the belt last May against Caleb Plant. When Terrence Crawford retired, those belts became vacated. He was elevated to the top spot, and now he's the full champion. So great opportunity for him to defend here, but an even bigger opportunity perhaps for Jaime Munguia to prove that he is still on the world level. But a tough couple of years for him. Had the loss to Canelo Alvarez.
Are getting dressed and ready to face off. Reminding you, this is
stoppage loss to Bruno Saras. Had the positive test after the rematch to Saras was eventually cleared of that. But now here he is with a chance to fight for a full world title at 168 pounds. And the question I have coming in is Jaime Munguia the high-level guy we thought he was coming up from 160 to 168 running through these weight classes? Or have these wars taken their toll on him?
This is going to be maybe the best fight of the night, your co-main event. Munguia, the slight favorite.
Jaime Munguia has been the focus, but we are only 3 fights removed from Armando Resendiz getting knocked out by Elijah Garcia. 2021, he lost to Marcos Hernandez, but so he's got a lot to prove coming into this fight as well. I do think it's going to be physical. I think it's explosive, and I think either way, we're going to see this fight end in a knockout.
Sergio, they both look in tip-top condition.
There they are, ladies and gentlemen.
Excellent shape. I think both these guys are championship-level fighters. I think momentum is on the side of Resendiz, and for Resendiz to have another former champion on his resume, that's what motivates this man on this date. Wants to continue holding down these popular Mexican dates, and this will be a war that I think Resendiz is the favorite in.
Miguel Flores, it's all yours.
Jaime, we saw your excitement here. What does it mean to you to become a 2-division world champion in front of your Mexican fans?
No, la verdad es que es una gran ilusión para mí y lo vamos a lograr. La verdad estamos listos y emocionados por esta gran pelea.
I'm really excited for this opportunity. It's going to be a dream, and we're going to go out there and provide you guys a great fight.
What's your prediction tomorrow night, Jaime?
Una victoria por nocaut de Jaime Munguia.
Jaime Munguia is going to win by knockout.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it. Jaime Munguia. And now we'll go over to the champ, Armando. This is your first defense of that WBA super middleweight crown. What is it going to take from you to leave with the belt tomorrow night?
¿Qué es lo que vas a tener que hacer mañana para retener el cinturón y enorgullecer a tu ciudad?
Hacer mi trabajo, hacer las cosas bien, obedecer mi esquina, darlo todo arriba del ring y luchar por mi familia.
All I have to do is do my best, give it my all, listen to my corner, and fight for my family.
We asked Munguia what he predicts. He predicts a knockout. What's your prediction tomorrow night?
Munguia vaticinó un knockout. ¿Vos qué decís? ¿Predicción para mañana es?
Mi predicción es que voy a dar todo lo mejor de mí. Voy a salir a dar una guerra. La gente quiere ver una guerra. Yo estoy listo para eso y para más.
Well, my prediction is that I'm going to give it my all. And I'm going to give you guys a war. You want a war, right? That's what I'm going to give you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the champ, Armando El Toro Resendiz.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the MGM Grand Garden Arena here in Las Vegas, Nevada, Premier Boxing Champion is ready to present the weigh-in for the featured bout of the evening, brought to you by Samson Boxing and Golden Boy Promotions, and sponsored by Linear Protein Bar. Knock out your hunger with 20 grams of protein that tastes like a decadent treat. And by DraftKings Sportsbook, ahora en español, the crown is is yours. And by MK2, choose your fighter. Only one can win. Mortal Kombat 2, only in theaters, and that is on May the 8th. Well, fans, let's bring our fighters to the stage at this time. First of all, the defending world champion from Mazatlan, Sinaloa, Mexico. He's the two-division world champion and the current unified WBA and WBO cruiserweight champion of the world. Please welcome Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez.
You know, Sergio, we were talking about Zurdo maybe being disrespected. When was the last time you saw the unified champion introduced first and come in second on that poster?
Yeah, that goes to show you that there's politics and popularity involved here, because normally, as the champion, that should be your stage.
And
you should be announced second.
Before we bring the challenger to the stage, my pleasure to introduce to you, now to assist us in escorting the challenger to the stage, please welcome the National High School Mariachi Champions, the Las Vegas High School Mariachi Band, introducing Hoya.
Wouldn't be an all-Mexican showdown without the mariachi band making an appearance before the main event.
Mannix, were you ever in a band?
I was not in a band.
You seem like a geek that would probably play the trombone or something.
I play guitar, Sergio.
No one
What are
asked
you
you.
making fun of band people for? Band people got feelings.
Just one time at band camp.
I was about to say that.
Give me a margarita.
There they are, ladies and gentlemen, Hoya. And now, ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the ring is the challenger from Phoenix, Arizona, the two-division world champion, the current unified WBC and WBA light heavyweight champion of the world, El Monstruo Mexicano, David Benavidez.
The monster, famously given that name by Mike Tyson. Sergio, it is very on point and appropriate.
Absolutely. And look, he always comes to fight. He always wants to push the pressure. He wants to go for the knockout. And that's what monsters are. I mean, we got Inoue in Japan fighting. We got the Mexican monster in Benavidez here controlling this date. That's exactly why he has that reputation, and everyone here wants to see what that reputation's made of.
He's dressed to fight right now, Chris. He's wearing his full regalia. All he needs is the hand wraps. Meanwhile, Zurdo's sitting over there in his underwear.
All right, fans, here we go. We're ready to bring our fighters to the scale for the WBA and WBO Cruiserweight Championship of the World. Weight limit on this fight is 200 pounds even. First, we invite the champion to the scale with a record of 48 wins and 1 loss. He has 30 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the reigning and defending WBO and WBA Cruiserweight Champion of the World, Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez. Zurdo Ramirez weighs right in at the limit of 200 pounds.
You know, Zurdo Ramirez wasn't coming in a pound under that 200.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, with a record of 31
years.
wins and no losses, 25 knockouts, the undefeated challenger, the current light heavyweight champion of the world, El Monstruo Mexicano, David Benavidez. David Benavidez weighs in at 196.8 pounds. 196.8 pounds for the challenger, David Benavidez.
A lot of belts on the stage right now, but don't get it twisted. The champion as of now, the unified cruiserweight champion, is on the right of your screen. That's Zurdo Ramirez. He has been a little disrespected and overlooked this week. Can he make David Benavidez pay?
And you can see the size advantage goes towards Zurdo Ramirez. These two guys,
Total respect between these two fighters, but they are ready to go to war. Gilberto Ramirez, Zurdo Ramirez versus David Benavidez, El Monstruo Mexicano. 12 rounds of boxing for the unified WBA and WBO Cruiserweight Championship of the World. Once again, let's hear from both of our fighters. This upcoming main event of the evening is a big one. What's on their mind? Miguel Flores, let us know.
Gilberto, I'll let you put on your t-shirt. You are the WBA, WBO Cruiserweight Champion, the first ever Mexican Cruiserweight Champion. You said that Benavidez is a great fighter, but you do everything better. What is going to be the key difference for you tomorrow?
I'm ready. I'm ready for whatever he brings. We're thinking we're going to put a great show, and I'm ready. That's it.
What is your final message after that face-off to David Benavidez before you step into the ring tomorrow?
Good luck. Good luck, and nos vemos mañana. Ganar. Viva México, cabrones. A huevo. Vamos a hacer historia.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for the champion of the WBA, WBO Cruiserweight World Champion, Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez. David, we now go to you. You are obviously have accomplished so much already in your career. You've been afraid of nobody. You're taking a big step to become a Cruiserweight World Champion. What did you take away from that final face-off with Zurdo?
Primero le quiero mandar saludos a toda la raza que vino a apoyar. Muchas gracias por todo su apoyo. Mañana nos vamos a la guerra y vamos a ganar. But now I feel really good, man. I seen a warrior in front of me. You know, I seen Gilberto Ramirez. He's ready to go to war. I'm ready to go to war. Get your popcorn ready because this shit's about to be a movie.
This is an important fight, not only to become a champion, but this is your first time headlining on this historic Cinco de Mayo weekend. What are fans going to see in the main event?
This is going to be my best performance to date. I'm very excited for this, and I'm going to give everything in there. I'm going in there, and I'm going to win a great victory. Well, first of all, you know what I mean, I want to tell you guys, let's do something cool. On the count of 3, I want you guys to say, Monstro! 1, 2, 3, Monstro! Hey, so when I go to work, you guys already know what time it is. That's what I want to hear you guys cheering. Thank you guys so much for the love and support. Tomorrow, man, it's going to go down.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for El Monstro Mexicano, David Benavidez.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the promotional team, we thank you very much for your attendance. What a great weigh-in we had, and what a great night we're going to have tomorrow night. Once again, we begin our pay-per-view 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. here in the Pacific. Tickets available ASX.com, available pay-per-view, Prime Video pay-per-view, DAZN pay-per-view, and all traditional cable and satellite service. Good afternoon, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow night.
All right, so that does it for the ceremonial weigh-in. My name is Todd Grisham, Sergio Mora, and Chris Mannix. 2 big guys on the scale, but obviously Zurdo much more comfortable at that weight. When he fought Dorticos, I thought he looked a little soft, but there he looked shredded, Sergio. Ramirez looking tip-top.
Yeah, we expected Ramirez to be the bigger fighter, but to look like the bigger in-shape fighter, I didn't see no softness, neither from Benavidez. I think Benavidez at 196, normally he's a little soft around the bottom too. I think he looks excellent, but the bigger man, especially after the rehydrate, is going to be Zurdo. I think he's probably going to go 210, north of 210, so he's going to have a good 15-pound weight advantage against David
North
Benavidez.
of 210, I would say he's probably the 220s. I mean, he's going to just pack on that weight after a weigh-in like that. He's always done that at multiple weight classes. You make the point about the weight with David Benavidez. We have seen guys, even great fighters, when they move up in weight, their first couple of fights, they're not the same as the last fights they have at a weight class. Terrence Crawford is a great example. Terrence Crawford against Jeff Horn is not the Terrence Crawford that I remember fighting Errol Spence. He was at his very best at welterweight at the very end. I don't doubt the talent of David Benavidez, but 25 pounds is a lot of weight. And Gilberto Ramirez has been at this weight now for 5 fights. He's had 5 camps going into this fight. He is comfortable at this cruiserweight division. We'll see if David Benavidez makes the adjustment quickly.
And an interesting note, we mentioned it during while it was happening, but the champion coming out first, Sergio. Sometimes when it's champion versus champion, there's that argument in who gets top billing. But Zurdo, and I'm sure we know him well enough, he was probably like, fine, if he wants it, he can take it. He's got that kind of attitude, but in the ring, he's a different beast altogether.
A champion should never give up a championship's position. I mean, they're announced second for a reason. I mean, that's a big deal when they announce not only in the weigh-in, but at an actual fight. They fight for that. They want that position. They want to be announced second, but for him to give up that belt to David Benavidez, it has nothing to do with Zurdo. It has to do with promotion. It has to do with who sold more tickets, who's here to actually pack out the crowd and people want to see. I think Benavidez is a favorite, not only in the odds, but also with the people.
I think he's certainly a favorite with the people. I don't know if he deserves to be this heavy a favorite in the ring. I just think Zurdo Ramirez is being wildly underestimated going into this fight. He's only lost to one man in his professional boxing career, and that was a pound-for-pound guy in Dimitri Bivol, who beat him with footwork, with skill, and with angles. If David Benavidez beats Zurdo Ramirez, it's going to be because he overwhelms him with punches. But as you're seeing here, Zurdo Ramirez is not some kind of low-volume guy. He is a high-output guy who is comfortable going deep into these types of fights, cruiserweight types of fights. Who is going to have the advantage in the second half of the fight if they're going toe-to-toe? Who is going to be the better fighter in the championship rounds? I don't know the answer to that question, and something tells me that this fight on Saturday is going to come down to who is better in the championship rounds.
Well, they know each other very well. They know exactly what they're getting into. They've literally sparred hundreds of rounds together. Sergio, do you believe both of them in the back of their mind have said, I know this guy better than anyone, and I know I can beat him?
Yeah, especially the guy that actually didn't do good in those sparring sessions. If they know each other so well, there's confidence that you can take from that because you felt the power, you felt the speed, you felt the size. I think since Benavidez relishes that he did better than Zurdo, I think Zurdo, it's advantage for him coming into this fight, knowing what he needs to work on, knowing what he fell short on, and he's the underdog. He's basically the one that needs to prove himself, so advantage Zurdo.
This Saturday, not only do we have Benavidez versus Ramirez, I call this boxing nirvana. Sergio, I want you to get up, call me. We're going to watch Inoue Nakatani together live from Tokyo, Japan. Then we move to England, Walker versus Sam Eggington. And then the nightcap, Benavidez versus Zurdo. Chris, quickly, Inoue Nakatani, what's going to happen from the Tokyo Dome?
I think it's going to be an incredible fight. I can tell you that much. I was talking to some people out there about tickets and can get a couple for somebody that might know it, they're like, no shot. Every ticket in that Tokyo Dome is going to be sold out. 55,000 fans out there for the biggest fight in Japanese boxing history. And I'm not sure which way it's going to go. Inoue is the more natural 122-pounder, but he looked like he might have lost a little off his fastball last year when he went 4-0. A couple of those fights went to a decision. Nakatani, the naturally bigger guy, at least the taller guy, he's shown a lot of power at 118 pounds, but he didn't look that great against Sebastian Hernandez his last time out. He barely avoided a draw in that fight. One round goes the other way, and he would have gotten a draw. This fight, I think, can go either way. I think they're going to be blasting away at each other early on. I think it's going to be a tremendous fight over in Tokyo.
It's going to be from Tokyo, from Las Vegas, a monster ball. And look, that's what happens when the best fight the best. Sometimes you don't look your best because you're fighting someone equally as talented as you. We're going to see that Saturday night.
All right, some other news coming your way out of Las Vegas. We found out that Canelo Alvarez will be fighting in September, and we now know his opponent, Chris.
Yeah, Christian Mbili, who has been the front runner to land the Canelo fight all along. He is close to finalizing a deal for that fight. They've been negotiating for some time now. Christian Mbili was one of those guys who got elevated after Terrence Crawford decided to retire. He had the interim version of the title. Had that draw against Lester Martinez on the undercard of Canelo against Crawford, but he is a fun, front-footed, offensive-oriented fighter. And if Canelo Alvarez has anything left in the tank after taking almost a year off, well, we're going to see, I think, a pretty good fight over in Saudi Arabia.
It's going to be fun and dangerous, and I can't believe that Canelo, at this stage of his career, still wants that smoke against someone that's a natural super middleweight, a lot stronger, similar in height and stature, but there's only going to be one real power-punching super middleweight, and that's going to be Mbili. But hats off to the Mexican. Canelo continues to surprise us.
Like everybody's
I would have
dangerous
fought
at
Lester
168.
Martinez.
He doesn't have a title. He doesn't have a title.
Well, then I would have fought somebody equal there.
Who?
Lester Martinez.
He has no title. Canelo's not fighting a guy with no title.
Yeah, but he's still got a draw with Mbili.
He doesn't have a title, though. This is all. But Canelo wants to get that title. He is chasing. I don't know why he's still chasing belts, since that doesn't affect his legacy one bit. But he wants to fight a world champion. I thought maybe there was an outside chance if Armando Resendez beat Jaime Munguia that Canelo would take that fight, because obviously it would be a new opponent. It would be a different storyline because he would have beaten a stablemate of Canelo Alvarez. But this Mbili fight has been cooking for some time now. He has been the front runner all along, and now, according to reports, he is likely going to be that opponent.
Yeah, that's expected in September. But first things first, this summer we've learned that Anthony Joshua will return to the ring, but not against the opponent we were hoping. He's supposed to fight Tyson Fury in the fourth quarter of this year. But first things first, another underwhelming matchup. I'm sure Sergio would agree with that.
Christian Prenga, the undefeated, or once defeated, I should say, heavyweight, fighting mostly out of New Jersey these days. Look, Prenga is not a great opponent. He has got a glossy record, 20 wins, 20 of them coming by knockout, but he is there to put on a show before the fight and go down during the fight. But the reality is, guys, I don't have any issue whatsoever with Anthony Joshua taking this fight. This guy, outside of the fight against Jake Paul, he has not fought since September of 2024. He is coming off a horrific car accident, took the lives of two of his friends, and cost him something physically. He is now working with Team Alexander Usyk, his first time working with them as his primary cornerman. He needs a fight to get used to all this. He needs a fight to shake off some of that rust. And the bottom line is, we are going to get Fury against Joshua. They signed on to face each other before the end of this year. Once AJ gets through Prenga, then he's got a chance to go out and fight Tyson Fury.
Agreed.
All right, 2 weeks from today, or 2 weeks from tomorrow, we'll be back on the road as DAZN brings you World Championship Boxing from Norfolk, Virginia. Our first top-ranked card as Keyshawn Davis meets Nair Albright in a heated rematch. Davis originally beat Albright by majority decision in 2023, but that result was later ruled a no contest. Since then, tensions have only escalated, with the pair involved in a post-fight altercation last June following Albright's win over Davis's brother Kelvin. Should be an explosive top-ranked debut May 16th in Norfolk.
I'm telling you, he's really a rookie. Honestly, I'm going to show it straight like that.
Albright is not a slouch. We're going to see if Wu has some tricks.
Keyshawn Davis showed exactly why he is considered a blue chip prospect.
That fight against Nair Albright changed to a no contest.
It could be a brother warfare.
Now I was fighting Keyshawn. Kelvin was like talking crazy. Now I get a chance to fight him.
His name Wu, he going down into. Now Keyshawn is a cheerleader for his brother Kelvin. Oh, there it is. Stunned
Davis family in the back. All hell broke loose.
He's showing you got to run it back with me in the ring.
And look who's with us, the businessman himself, Keyshawn Davis. You're laughing at watching that promo. What made you laugh there?
He got what he wanted.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's what he really wanted, though.
What's this fight week going to be like, and are you going to be able to stay composed considering all the animosity you and he have?
I'm the businessman. Like, literally, that's my nickname, you know, so I'm treating this like any other fight, you know. We'll get knocked out just like everybody else that I fought.
Why will this fight be different than your first encounter?
Because it is. It just is. Every time you fight me, you expect the unexpected. At least you should. You know, and I didn't get to fight him. I didn't get to stop him the first time that I fought him. So now I get a second chance to fight basically the same fighter I fought 2 years ago. He's going down.
Keyshawn, did you feel like that first fight was close? On the judges' scorecards, they had it closer than I think most people sitting ringside, most people watching at home had it. Did you feel like you were a more clear winner than the judges reflected there?
Oh, yeah, for sure. But at the end of the day, I got the win. And then not only that, it doesn't matter because it was a no contest, right? So this one was really going to matter. I'm going to stop him this time.
Keyshawn, you asked me what I thought about your last performance. I thought you were awesome in that performance. You got a late round stoppage against a guy who doesn't get stopped. What do you think about your performance against Jermaine Ortiz?
I give myself like a C+. I feel like I was rushing a lot of shots. I didn't really get settled into the fight until like round 8 or 9, you know, being that I was off for like a year. So this fight right here, I'm going to just be way more comfortable. I'm back into my rhythm now. And I'm a lot stronger now. I done gained a lot of weight, a lot of muscle, I would say. So this fight is going to be amazing, man.
You know, we've been talking about Benavidez coming up in weight to the cruiserweight division to fight Zurdo Ramirez. But for you, not having to shave off that extra 5 pounds, once you got in the ring and once you started facing Ortiz, could you feel the difference in how you fought?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, I felt the difference, like, the entire fight week. But also, like, in weigh-ins, the weigh-ins day, like, literally, like, I'm early in the morning, no coffee. I'm holly jolly. Like, I got the most energy in the building. Like, I feel great. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, 140, I feel like I'm definitely going to take it up a notch because my body is filled into this weight, and I just feel good.
And this division is wide open right now. Like, there's no unquestioned king of the division. You're in line, of course, to fight for one of the belts. When you win, assuming you win, it goes clean. The challengers are going to want to fight you, or the champions are going to want to fight you because you bring money to the table, you bring exposure to the table. Is this the weight class you want to try to clean out over the next couple of years?
We'll see. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I'm only focused on May 16th, you know, Scope Arena, Norfolk, Virginia. I got to knock Naya Albright out, you know what I'm saying? And the world is mine after that, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I am the biggest star at 140 right now. I do feel like I know that I bring money to the table. You know, as I just keep stopping these guys, you know, I'm going to be definitely a force to be reckoned with.
And you bring atmosphere to the table as well. Like, I remember when you booked that fight against Lemos, and Top Rank was stunned at how fast those tickets were selling, how well you sold in your hometown. Because you never really know. You never know. You could put a guy in an arena like that. He might sell 5,000 tickets. You have to give the other 5,000 away. You sold all those tickets that night. What kind of atmosphere are you expecting in your return?
The same type of atmosphere. Like, people excited to come out and watch me fight. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I wanted to fight a better opponent. I was calling out Oscar Duarte to really come on this fight and so I could fight him. I honestly wanted really a better opponent, you know, but Top Rank insisted that I take this fight because they felt like it was going to be a great story. You know what I'm saying? And,
I think they're wrong. I think it's a good story. I think it's a good story going into the fight.
Well, I think it's a good story, but I like great fighters. You know what I'm saying?
Save the Duarte fight for September. I can see you come in on one of these Mexican independence shows against you and Oscar Duarte. That'll be awesome.
Hey, whenever, man. Whenever we can make it happen. I just like putting on great shows because a great fighter ain't going to do nothing but get me even more locked into a fight, make me train make me go even more harder. You know what I'm saying? So a great fight always bring it to my table.
I'm sure a lot of people will be watching have never been to Norfolk. Sergio has never been there. I have. He said, Todd, what's there to do in Norfolk? You got the shirt on. It's your chance to tell us right now, what should we do? Where should we go to enjoy the best Norfolk has to offer?
And, man, first of all, we got a lot of beaches surrounding Norfolk. So if you want to just kick back, relax, and get away from all of this right here, go chill out on the beach somewhere. You know what I'm saying? We got great food, especially seafood out there. So go ahead, try our seafood out there. You know what I'm saying? and just the vibes, the energy in Norfolk. It's something in the water out there.
Uh-oh.
You know what I'm saying? So when you come in Norfolk, the people is just going to welcome you. They happy that boxing is back in the town. So when they know that y'all the guys that's going to be speaking on my behalf, they're going to make sure that y'all treated well. You know what I'm saying? So make sure y'all tell them, hey, look, we speaking good about Keyshawn fight night.
All right, can't wait to see you 2 weeks from tomorrow. Thanks for the time and good luck to you.
All right, thank you.
All right, we'll see you in Norfolk, Virginia. Other big fights coming your way on DAZN. Obviously, tomorrow night, Benavidez versus Zurdo. The next Saturday, man, the hits just keep on coming, don't they? Wardley versus Dubois. That is a must-see heavyweight showdown. Don't blink. And then we head to Egypt. Usyk versus Rico Verhoeven for the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the world. And then Saturday, June 27th, Xander Zayas versus Boots Ennis, the fight no one thought would actually happen. Well, it's happening, and you can see it live as part of your DAZN Ultimate package.
The first rule of DAZN Ultimate.
The first rule.
You do not pay-per-view.
You do not.
You do not pay-per-view.
Do not pay-per-view.
The Ultimate Fight Night is here.
Second rule, DAZN Ultimate is. Second rule,
You don't pay-per-view.
Because Ultimate gives you a minimum of 12 pay-per-view fights a year.
At no extra cost.
You do not pay per view. Join us ringside and welcome to DAZN Ultimate.